Jason, what's up, dude?
What is going on?
All right, buddy. I've known you from back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Realtor.com, broker advisory board, I think like the 1800s, late 1800s.
Yeah, it might have been earlier than that. It might be like 1776 or something.
First real estate agents. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Jason, it's super cool to talk to you, man, because you're always testing out what's new, what's better.
Yep.
Give us a quick intro as to how long you've been in the business, where you're located, and why the hell do you like Chime?
Yeah, so I've been in the business really since 2001, full-time since 2007, located in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We fortunate and blessed to run a team of agents that I think I've provided a good foundation to, and we're able to really do a lot of sales in Little Minneapolis. This year we'll do 430 units for approximately $145 million is what we're tracking for. So we keep going, and very awesome to see, what my agents are able to do with the Chime platform and, some other things that we've added on to make that platform work the best that it can with the leads that we have. So
I like that, dude. So right now, just so people understand what you're doing with the platform, and so I know too.
Yep.
You have the platform. Are
Yep.
you using it just for your team? Are you using it for the brokerage, and are you buying leads through the system right now?
Yep. So right now we mainly use it just for the team. The brokerage, which I'm an investor in, has maybe talked about having me do what I do on the team. Maybe for the brokerage, we just really haven't got that all formatted yet. Because, if you can do it at a mega agent level, there shouldn't be any reason you can't do it potentially at the brokerage level. You just have to make sure it's all about the people, right? So it's all about the people and the systems and the processes that you have to do. And we have a system that obviously works really well. We just need to make sure that if we did it as an expansion, or if we did it any other place besides the team, I'd really need to mirror and match exactly what I'm doing. Because if I didn't do that, then who knows where the breakdown came in the system, so yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you a question because we all just heard about this yesterday. I see you're with KW on the background.
Yep.
KW just announced their whole expansion
Yep.
brokerage model. So it's a completely separate brokerage model outside of the brick and mortar.
Yep.
Are you already thinking, okay, I'm going to expand everywhere with Chime? Because I was thinking it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's always in the back of, my mind. And, I always kind of get back though to a, book called The Acres of Diamonds. And you just got to be really careful about running away from the good that you have right underneath your feet. And, we do really well in Minneapolis. And, it's my belief that we could do upwards of 3,000 deals, a year just in Minneapolis. And
yeah,
and have it easily, there's a couple agents here that there's one that does about 1,000. There's one that does 1,500. So,
hold on, Jason, as a single agent or a team?
Team, big team. Yeah. Yeah. But still, we think we think that there's room for somebody to do about 3,000 deals here. So, my cautionary thing is, expansion is cool. And it's kind of like that shiny new object for, whether it be KW, EXP, those seem to be the two where you get the big players that are doing this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
you're right.
What KW has done is they've made it extremely easy for anybody to take and expand. I mean, that's what they did yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Cody Gibson is pretty much, in charge of working a lot of that, and he's done it at an extremely high level. I mean, my numbers are close. I think he's in 5 countries, has 126 expansion partners. So he did that before they rolled out the new thing yesterday. So, I mean, I'd imagine guys like that are just going to continue to crush it, you know, and
especially now. All right. So tell me,
their business model, a little different than mine, but that's their business model. And we're always looking for like, okay, we need to duplicate what we have locally. So, you know, how do we do that? What's the scalability of that? What do you need to do to make sure that you don't crash and burn when you're doing it either? So
that's my question. And Randy, interrupt me at any time, but I have a question in regards to what you said previous to that. And then this first, you said, I think there's an opportunity to hit 3,000 transactions, right? Mm-hmm. I want to dig into that, Jason. What does that look like, that opportunity? What do you guys need to do to get there? Because I want you to break it down for me and for everybody listening in, and for Randy, because he talks to a lot of agents.
Yeah, I mean, simplistically, to go to 3,000, I mean, you know, we'll do, you know, 450 this year. So, you know, you just kind of look at it and say, well, and I don't mean to overly simplify it or, you know, get stoned by people. And we have a very good system in place already. So I know that we probably need to 6 or 7x what we're doing in order to get to 3,000. So it would come down to, you know, first and foremost, our agents, you know, in order to get to 3,000, we'd probably need to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 90 agents. You know, we have 15 right now, so they're obviously highly productive. There's only 13 that are actually really producing. And then there's, you know, 2 of those other agents are basically heart of the house or back of the house. They're critical team members. They just don't produce sales. They produce in other ways. So we'd have to go between 60 to, you know, somewhere, like I said, 60 to 60, maybe even 90 agents to get 3,000 units. And then from there, it's a matter of scaling, you know, what we're doing more so with the Chime platform. Like we've gone out and done niche websites that have been totally separate websites. And I think that'll be something that's really productive for us. It's going to take us a little while to scale that, but it's been my goal to have these niche websites that are potentially platforms on their own, you know, that each website could maybe do 100 transactions per website. So, and they're not, I spend a little bit more money doing that with Chime because I want them to be totally separate than, you know, the Find My Minnesota House website. So they're totally different URLs that we own, and they're based on very niche specific segments of the market that I want to go after. So that in and of itself will help us, you know, keep growing. I'm not necessarily saying that 3,000 is my personal goal, but there's definitely a pathway to get there. So we got, you know, the 60 agents, we got the niche websites. In addition to that, critically is, you know, administrative staff. We run very lean and mean, and we have some of the best staff that there is. They process a lot of files. They do a flipping awesome job. So, you know, one thing that I see a lot of times is, you know, teams of our size having just a tremendous amount of administrative staff. And a lot of times I'm kind of like, why do you need that many people? I'm not really sure what's going on, but that's, I don't walk in their shoes. I don't put their pants on. So I have no idea. But we have very good talent on our admin staff. So, it really just comes down to scaling the staff, looking at, you know, it's just ratios. It's just, I got to 6x everything that I'm doing, 6 to 7x everything that I'm doing. And it's possible to get there.
So I have a quick question. You've got obviously great structure to your business. I know you've got several lead sources, and just, you kind of have everything lined up nicely. So all of your agents can be massive producers on an individual level. When you're looking to move from 15 to possibly 90 agents, are you looking for someone who you can trust to plug and play into your system? Or are you looking for someone who did 45 deals last year and you can just kind of absorb them into your business?
Our profile has always been somebody that's never sold real estate. So that's what we're looking for. There's one agent on our team that sold real estate before they got to our team, and he had a super awesome pedigree. His dad was one of the biggest agents in San Diego for many, many years. A guy by the name of Dave Norberg. Now he sells in Tahoe. Other than Jeff on our team, there hasn't been a single person that's actually sold real estate before they got on our team, really. So we really like to have people that are brand new, so they don't have any of these preconceived notions. Mm-hmm. So that's what's worked for us. If we did flat out expansion, quite frankly, you'd have to probably find people that weren't totally brand new, or it's just not going to work out great. So in my opinion, because that can be a little bit more hands-off. I know we have Zoom and everything, but it's not as hands-on. So
sure. So someone who's never sold a home before, what are the other parameters of the profile you look for?
We really put them through the whole Keller Williams career visioning. The very first thing that we do is we do a disc assessment with people. And that's really a snapshot in time. We look at that like just really briefly. I'm either looking for a DI or an ID. I'm looking for a driver or an influencer. Those are typically the people that are most successful. My wife, however, is an SC, and she'll sell 45 to 50 homes this year, but she's got that proven track record, right? Also, as it is. So, and frankly, her, she would be a great admin, and she was the first admin. And then, don't ever work with your wife or your significant other in a subsidiary role, because that's just not probably going to work out the best for your marriage.
She has to be the boss. Come on, Jason. When are you going to learn this?
I don't care who's the boss. I just want to help people build generational wealth. So,
what a politically correct answer, Jason.
Yeah. I really don't, though, truthfully. I got lost. Where do you want me to?
I threw you off.
Okay, I had a follow-up question anyways. And this is a quick one. Just what are some of the career backgrounds that these people have? So
so we've had teacher, fitness instructor, one is a real estate agent, like a door-to-door food salesman.
Omaha Steaks?
No, like Schwann's. Schwann's, I don't know where that is around the country, but they were founded in Minnesota. So I think they're relatively big, but it might be more of a Midwest thing. And then, some telephone sales is probably the person that we had hit it hardest right out of the gate, because they knew how to make those relationships very fast, face-to-face. So that translated very well over the phone. Bartenders, I would say really bartenders, teachers, and people that are some sort of face-to-face, high-intensity sales is what's been good for us.
Sure, makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead, Tristan.
I have a question in regards to the lead count, because when I reverse engineer it on my end, like we just we're about to, we just did add 10K more just to PPC a month.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, okay, I had to, this is what I went through, just so you understand this really well. And everybody listening in, pay attention. I looked at realtor.com for my area. Yep. I wanted to pick up all the zone, right? And you know how they switch to zones now.
Yep.
It was $25,000 a month.
Yep.
For the zones, and they're promising me 50 to 90 leads, exclusive, right? a higher conversion rate, probably
Yep.
close to about 10%, right?
Yep. Maybe. Yep.
Yeah. If we're good, if we're lucky
Yep.
too.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, that's $500 a lead if I get low, right?
Yep.
That's a crap ton. And I'm like, but my team does so well with PPC. I mean, our 60 million in volume in the last 12 months just from PPC alone. And I was
That's
only
crazy.
spending 10K a month,
Yep.
right? Just on Google PPC. I'm like, all right, we're at $10 a lead approximately, right?
Wow. That's great for your market, obviously.
Amazing for the ROI here. And
Yep.
I'm like, what am I doing looking at realtor.com or even Zillow if we have such great results on PPC, right?
Yeah. And I think, I've had stuff yanked away from me in the past by people that I'm not going to mention because I'm just not that guy, but I've had stuff yanked away and I've had opportunities given back because I wasn't a person that likes to go out and badmouth people. I might badmouth them on my front porch over a beer to my wife, but I just, I don't flame them on social media because, I understand business. So I kind of look at it and say, I'm always cautious of having my eggs all in one basket, and so do we still do Zillow? Absolutely. At a very high level. Do we still do realtor.com? Absolutely. At a very high level. Do we still have a bunch of PPC? Yup. And we do that very well. So I'm very cautious of having one source in any place because you never know. Google could flat out change their algorithm again, and it might take your PPC manager a little while to catch up on that. And then in the meantime, hopefully you have Zillow or realtor.com or your past clients is still our number one source. And that should be everybody's source. If it's
100%.
You're just doing something wrong. So, I mean, we just had a client event where it's called Party in the Park, and we had food and face painters and a live band, and we had 250 clients come in a 3-hour span, and it developed probably 10 or so pieces of referral business that should turn into 3 to 5 closed transactions. It's not about the transactions really. I mean, you got to pay for stuff obviously, but it's building those relationships, keeping top of mind, having a good strategic 36 touch program in place with those people. And I mean, I know that Tristan and I are KW, but this can be said for anybody. It does, this is KW lingo, but anybody should have their past clients on a 36 touch program where you're touching those people 36 times a year through texting, emailing, calls, and events. And we do 4 events a year. And so that helps keep us top of mind. You got to keep building that data bank, as Lance Logan would say. I believe that's his term. I just rip off and duplicate stuff from people. So
I would say that as far as your past clients and sphere goes, that's the most underappreciated maybe, or at least the least talked about piece of PPC, Zillow, Realtor, all of those people eventually contribute to your past clients as well.
Absolutely. And that's where people lose. That's where people I get very frustrated because there's people out there that be like, oh, you shouldn't spend any money with Zillow. And I'm like, I'm just building my data bank. I'm just going to build it faster than you, right? Yep. Zillow is my steroid. Right? I'm going to use that to build my muscles, build my data bank faster than you are. And you don't want to do it in their crap leads and blah, 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 cry over your spilt milk. I look at it really with, I look at it and I just shake my head. I'm like, okay, you do you, I'll do me. And that's probably my favorite thing over the last 18 months, with various other things besides real estate. You do you, I'll do me, and we can agree to disagree on stuff, and that's fine. I don't care. But I think marketing's marketing. I don't care where you spend the dollars. Past client events, marketing. Zillow, marketing. PPC, marketing. Having your name on a billboard, marketing. It's all marketing. So wherever you want to spend your money. As long as you can get an ROI and know what your numbers are, have at it. We're good at what we're doing. There's people that are better at various facets of real estate than us, by far and away. There's people that are better than every facet that we do. We just have a good recipe right now for success. One that we think that we can take from, making one cupcake to making a dozen cupcakes, and it's just a recipe. So just make it double, triple the amount or quadruple it, and there you go. You're doing more deals.
And that's the key, though, is that scalability to go from one cupcake to 12, right? So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, like, man, I'm maxed out in my efforts right now. I couldn't even imagine 6 or 7xing my business because there's literally not any more time in the day. Then you're doing something that isn't scalable. So. Yeah.
No, everybody's got the same amount of time in the day, which is 24 hours, and again, these are all quotes that I'm just stealing randomly, and I don't
That's okay.
I don't know where the credit should be due, but it's not me. I'm just not that smart. I'm the kid that's dyslexic, ADHD, and quite frankly, I failed kindergarten the first time around. That's just what it is. And I'm okay with that, and I own that. So you totally have to, if you really want to scale a business, do the activities as if you were going to do 10 times the business that you're currently doing. But you really got to dig in and say, do I actually have the right systems? Do I actually have the right people? The people are the most important thing. I mean, people bar none are the most important. You can't just, play pin the tail on the donkey with your people. You got to have great people, or it will just, everything will erode. And that's why we're so strategic when we hire people, taking them through that DISC assessment and then taking them through the career visioning process. And last but not least, anybody that gets hired on the team meets with between 6 and 8 of our agents, and they just do kind of an interview process. And ultimately, that can be how you get hired or don't get hired. Maybe someone slipped through the cracks with the hiring manager, because we actually have a talent manager who's the CEO of our team, and she does an awesome job. That is not my one thing. I am not great at hiring people. So I found somebody that was. It just wasn't my talent. So
sure. Yeah, it's super important. When you think about putting together your system and process and all that stuff, one bad person plugged into the best process ever it's going to break. It doesn't matter.
We've done that. Just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Flat out doesn't work.
Dude, I agree. Can you go a little deeper into what your CEO does? Like, besides what you just said?
So it's coaching. Yep. It's an excellent question. So it's coaching bi-weekly with the agents. It's leading our team meetings. It's constantly being on the lookout for talent and finding the talent, and, between, and then really looking at the vision, right? I'm the visionary and she's the implementer of the whole thing. So, really between those 4 things, that's about 90% of what she does. So, but those are huge things, right? There's nothing to be taken away. And, I think a lot of people like to be the jack of all trades and a master of none. And some people will be like, oh, that's all that person does is those 4 things. It's like, yeah, that's all that person does. They do those 4 things, but they're really good at those 4 things.
Yeah.
And those 4 things are super important. You got to remember, I'm no silver spoon real estate agent kid, right? I was bankrupt in 2007. We took this thing, I came over to KW, and that's just my story. I don't care if you like or don't like KW, that's your own opinion, but I came over to KW and it's been nothing but awesome to me. I got here in 2014 and I was doing 16 million for about, unbelievable, about 16 million for 50 units or something like that. And now we've gone to 430 to 450 units for 140 to 150 million. Are you kidding me? And then the lives that we've been able to transform as far as people on our team and stuff. Our average agent will make 100 grand a year or more, and it's easy for someone to plug into our system. And after their first 6 months, with the 6 to 18 months, they should be able to easily make $100,000 with our system. So now given, our average sales price right now is $331 year to date. Our average pending is $376 year to date. We look at both those metrics, so you can see how our market is also appreciating. But and we track our numbers. I know my numbers. I think that's the biggest thing is people are like, oh, I want to grow and I want to do that. And it's like, do you know your numbers? I mean, those are legitimately my numbers. I mean, I could share a spreadsheet and that's what those numbers would say because I know those numbers. I know my profitability year to date. I mean, I just know all of that. I'm working on the business, not necessarily in the business anymore. I still sell 40 to 50 homes a year, but I'm not.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, that's a lot. I am very diligent with my time, though. Most powerful word in the English language is no. I mean, I'm on here because I know Tristan and Randy, and they've been great friends of mine. More so Tristan than Randy, but who knows me, Randy.
I beat you, Randy. I beat your ass.
Well, that's because I'm not a very good friend. I hang out in my nook. I don't make friends.
I'm just trying to be real. There's a chance for you still, Randy. So it's just, like I said, a lot of people just say yes to everything, and you got to be so strategic on what you're looking to accomplish. Because if you continue to say yes to everything, I mean, you're not going to be able to work on your one thing, and my one thing is my team and the people on the team. That's my one thing. My value add to my team is they all know that I pick up the phone for them, carte blanche, anytime, anywhere, the best that I can to answer whatever question they have. And that's probably one of my biggest value propositions is, besides helping them build these big businesses within my business, it's my availability to the team members. So,
dude, I love that. And I think that's the key right there. Randy, that's what he just said right there, man. That when you're building a team, that's the key right there.
Being available.
And I'm not walking away from it. I'm still in it full time, full heartedly, and I don't have any plans on not being in this full time. It's important to still be working on that business. You don't have to work in it, but you better work on it, and you better know the difference between working on it and working in it. Working in it is you just have a job. Working on it is you're actually, an owner or a CEO, if you will. So,
dude, I love that. That's Jason. That's all the time we have, man. These are short.
I love it. I appreciate the opportunity, guys, more than you know. So
thanks for being on. Thanks for being on Chime. And let's talk later this week.
Right. Peace out. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Tristan. Take it easy.
Yep. Be blessed.